And just one more reminder that for the next week, starting on Monday-ish, I will have pre-recorded videos of World of Horror coming out every day. If other videos come out, whether, you know, it's World of Horror or not, just know that that's likely me in the time. That's why, to mention once more, or just to mention on top of that, there will be no pinned comments. Usually I like to pin a comment. We're going to play this character one more time, by the way. Usually I pin a comment right next to the video, but if it's scheduled to release, which is what you can do on this platform, then yeah, that's not going to happen. But I think I remember that we're on. So as we're on, going into Cthulhu Ill-Fated, we might have had random item stats, but I forgot, so let's focus. I could talk about, well, I am going to talk about something very specific, but as we see, second encounter, knowledge, strength, second mystery, dexterity, and maybe a light check. The topic of, I guess, playing other video games, at least on this channel, if nothing else, is something that I'm always looking to do. And starting in November, so basically 2 weeks from now-ish, actually next week, if I can get to do the things I want to do. Then, just making sure we can do that. Ooh, Yoichi. Funds, for those who didn't know. Oh, actually, we have Paranoia, so we can't actually get rid of that. Let go of Yoichi until we take care of that curse, if we even can. I guess we'll find out. But I accidentally clicked out of World of Horror. Gosh dang it. But as we get the rumor, grab our funds and move on. Yeah, I do always looking to play. I like being what's not multifaceted, but at least adaptable. So painting, that's not the exact word I'm looking for. We do have Recluse, so we can get rid of thing. We also have Fetish and Postal. So I think today we are going to enter Recluse and risk everything. This is all for the sake of Yoichi, which I want to double my funds, so let's see if this turns out well for me. Keeping in mind that we're on Ill-Fated, I was just reminded of that. But yeah, I do want to play a bunch of games. I don't want to be a specialist in 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 games. I do like to try and branch out. That being said, that does kind of run counter to my desire to really sink my teeth in games, but that doesn't mean that, well, I guess the way that would work is that you sink your teeth into a game, so maybe you focus on a game for 1 to 3 months, and then you finally move on. But I do like to eventually come back to games, period. That's the end of the sentence. But the reason I keep on doing World of Horror content primarily is because, as I mentioned before, and I'll mention it again right here, oh, hold on, I should have gotten rid of Paranoia. Well, we can still use the doll, it's just a bit late. But, as we try to swing our way out, I always do this, I always forget what I'm talking about, right when I interrupt myself. But, yeah, World of Horror is just easier to record. It's I think it's one of the easiest games for me to record. Obviously, if there are any heavily pixelated games that are not actually blasting pixels at you throughout the screen, which is a very specific nuance, it's easy to record that game and then therefore edit it, render it, and upload it to this platform. So painting, festival, I do need to do fetish at some point, but I think I forgot if Postal has anything dangerous in it too. Because we're gonna do some Yoichi things, I don't mind skipping a bit into festival for a moment. I really should do painting instead. Yeah, let's do painting instead. With 6th region, we should be able to survive, even if we're on Ill-Fated, as long as I'm attentive to my reason loss, and events in general that can result in reason loss, except if I'm forced to lose reason. But that's another topic entirely. I was kind of distracted by the curse I got, just making sure it wasn't something completely that was going to destroy me. We'll take second sight, and I'm actually gonna heal reason because we're on Ill-Fated. I'm a bit scared, so let's find out how much. If I lose 4 or more reason, I would have lost the run. There's 2 reason. We're gonna grab a light source. I can't click for some reason, and when I said that, I meant that in the way that I'm just failing to. My hand-eye coordination is not great, but. That kind of goes, if I were to drag this commentary back towards playing multiple video games, there are games that I tend to avoid. They're mostly shooters, and at this point, fighting games as well. Not because I'm not confident in my hand-eye coordination, although I will admit those are by far my weakest. Hand-eye coordination and situational awareness are the weaker parts of myself as a human being, but as we fight, we just need to run. Yeah, those are not things. That being said, if you've watched all of like 95% of the rest of this channel, my ability to memorize things and strategize is not great either. So, I mean, there's not really much else to say at this point. Some people might be asking, well, Jordan, then what are you good at exactly? Again, when I say hand-eye coordination, I'm not saying that I'm absolutely terrible at it. It's just that I guess among all of my so-called negatives that I've mentioned just now is that I'm not very consistent. I guess that's the more accurate phrase to say. So a frequent example I think I've brought up before as we get 10 funds, and therefore we're going to vending machine for a bunch of our cigarettes, is that well, the first and foremost, yeah, I'm not consistent. So I talk about FF14 and rating. When I did rating, I was not the most consistent. When I make a mistake, it's a pretty huge mistake. But I don't make them very often in the case of FF14. In the case of fighting games, I'm not consistent at all in trying to, if I have to do a combo over and over when I need it, whenever I hit, say, a bread and butter, and try to go for, optimal damage, or maybe I'm going for a wake-up option, oftentimes I'll just drop the combo. That's the simple way to put it. And so there's a 95% chance I do my combo, and there's a 5% chance that I just drop it, and then I have to just make do with what I've got. That being said, as I think I can grab 3 packs of cigarettes now, and we get a brick for our trouble, but let me just make sure I have enough funds for the rest of this, so I can, no, we're gonna hold off on these. No, we're not. So we're gonna sell the, oh no, I shouldn't sell the flashlight, I'm going crazy. Okay, fine. If we run into out of funds, we'll trade off reason. But yeah, I gave 2 examples. I hope that kind of clues you into the kind of consistency that hurts my ability to remember things, hurts my hand-eye coordination, hurts my, hurts other things. Oh, now, wow, you need second sight and curses. This is definitely a Kyrie mystery. But anywho, let's continue on going. So, yeah, if doing all of that is what's required to get ending A, oh boy, is this a fun mystery to go through. Also, we do need a brace. Thankfully, we're a character with high strength, but yeah, this is still painful, or can be painful. And in fact, if we keep missing these attacks, it's going to be very, very painful, stamina-wise. And then we go to Desperate Struggle. But the second most thing is that before I forget, I often end up making decisions that go against the grain of consistency as well. So, in a way, I'm just full of contradictions here and there, which I really hope that I'm not most of the time. I try to be conscious of not being a contradictory person. But, like, big contradictions, like, hey, I don't like to gamble, meanwhile I take RNG options. That's kind of the threshold of where I'm willing to kind of admit the contradictory things that I do here and there, but at the same time, I mean, it's not that I don't have my logic. I always try to get my logic behind me doing certain actions. So I hope that at least clues you in as to, or at least, gives some rationale behind the decisions I make. So continuing on the topic of me making decisions that are against, I say I don't like to take risks, and then I will take a risk, but the logic I usually say is conceptually along the lines of, hey, I know that there's a 60% chance in general that if I do certain decisions, it's usually going to end up well. But then I go against the grain and say, well, there's a 40% chance, and I believe in that. I'm in that 40%. Now, there is a threshold to that as well, and threshold meaning there is a limit to my decision-making in that logic, and that's, well, I'm not going to say... I was going to use a specific example, but I didn't want to use it. So instead, I'll go more generic and say, if there's a 1 in a million chance in something happening, I'm usually not going to go for it. Like 99.9999% of the time, unless it's something very, let's just say, serious. I don't want to trigger the robots, so I'm being very careful with my words. But, oh my goodness, -3 all by. That being said, so we have Recluse and Festival and I think another mystery. But Recluse. Wait, did I already say Recluse? Basically, we don't have a lot to do in this run. Yeah, I'm willing to just take the injury there. I have to gamble. I don't want to lose any more stamina at the moment. But again, I hope maybe someone else can explain what I'm trying to get at here. Again, I'm not at my best in terms of thinking when I am in the middle of doing something. I do to move on to my, like, I guess third and fourth, not bad points, but other points that I often like to, that you'll see me do often, is that I like to really focus in on something. Not saying that I'm terrible at multitasking, but if I had to choose, I usually like to stay focused on one specific thing. By the way, let's make sure we have enough cigarettes. But as we enter Postal here, oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, I do like to just hyper-focus on one thing. And even then, that's not saying that, oh, because I'm focused, I'm going to do well. It's just that I do a lot less worse if I keep my focus on a particular thing. So for in this specific instance, it's playing World of Horror. So if I'm commentating alongside that, I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I wouldn't say I'm really bad either, in my opinion, at least. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. So let's, in terms of taking my bonus level on level up, again, to kind of tangentially drive back to the World of Horror here, is that I'm being really kind of loose, and I'm autopiloting a lot more than I normally would, because I'm a strength character with a strength weapon. So just happening, it's a really easy time most of the time. Even though I'm on Cthulhu Ill-Fated, Ill-Fated, in which I would likely have to worry a lot. I didn't actually mean to trade Doom there. And which I would have to worry a lot about Doom in general. But just overriding that, my priority is, hey, if my strength is 10 or above, I usually can just kind of sit back and, you know, crack my neck here and there. I don't know if you heard that. And just autopilot while I speak. And then, therefore, I can focus more on speaking. Oh my goodness, 5 Doom, by the way. Well. I was autopiloting a bit too much, but it didn't really matter because I don't remember Postal that much. I played that mystery a few times, but, I mean, even if I did, I wouldn't have remembered the events anyway. Obviously, unless I played more often. So, second encounter, second mystery. So, we don't have Takshisan, so we should be able to just walk up this lighthouse. However, I will try to remember my second encounter because, it would probably be better for me to try and do that. So, we took Recluse first, so Roommate was our first encounter. I think we took Feet third. So, did we do Festival second? I don't even remember my second mystery. This is bad. I feel like I did Festival second, because I wanted to kind of bounce in between and then do Feet third. I think that was what I did. And then I did some other mystery. I know I had 3 out-of-town mysteries. Okay, hold on. Let me think for a moment. I swear I'm not trying to fill in for more time here on the video. But I did Recluse first. What was my third out-of-town mystery? Because I know they were... I feel like they were 3 out-of-town mysteries. Were they not? Festival, Recluse. Then we did Feet and Postal as our... Those are my 4 mysteries. What was my 5th mystery? Why do I not remember this? Oh, painting. That's what I did. And I did painting second, because I was like, oh, look, my reason's at 6. Okay, that's how funny enough, it's not because I remember the mystery, it's because I remembered having 6 reason going into a mystery, and that was painting. Which means it was probably something in the forest. I don't think it was the inner demons. I thought I ran from that later on. And it definitely wasn't. So basically a 50-50 shot. I'm going to say Shroom Man. Okay, it was actually an escape run. Well, either way, we do remember our second mystery now. It really should have been painting. If it's not painting, I'm going to be a bit surprised. Because I distinctly remember saying, oh, it's my second mystery, and then we'll go into Feet. But, okay, it was painting. That I remembered correctly. But I didn't remember my second encounter. I mean, it was a 50-50 shot, but can't win coin flips on this channel reliably, as odd as that may sound. So, without further ado, if you have anything interesting or comments, concerns, criticism, questions, advice, I'll still take advice for World of Horror, because I'm not the most knowledgeable either, but I'm not going to take up much more of your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!